reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 177. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite chooser not to wear pantser, Mr. Leonor himself. Hello, Leonor.
Hello, minions. It's a very little known fact that I am actually wearing shorts today.
No. Isn't that a little too close for pants?
It is kind of close, from what I hear what pants are. But they have a very cool red stripe on them that say NBA and feel pretty new as I have them on.
That's pretty cool. So are you like thinking of capris next? Is that where you're going?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about quitting my career as a podcaster and joining basketball.
There you go. I mean, you got the shorts. Why not?
I got the shorts.
And of course, none other than Mr. at MMO Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hello. I think if you're going to really commit to the pantslessness, then a kilt is really the only way to go.
That's true.
That's
like
what I keep telling people.
The king of pant alternatives.
That is, but only if you do it right. If you do it halfway, it's just not worth it.
That's just cheating. That's like.
No, I agree.
Well, of course, you got to give something for the kilt checkers.
On this awkward moment, let's move things along. I'm getting the signal here from Steve that we need to move things along. So, Leonor, why don't you start? What have you been doing in game?
Chris, Bill, Harry is going to miss the biggest epic moment ever on this show. I did not play Lotro this week.
Dun dun dun!
Oh, I feel like this is a change that the world is not ready for.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like Leonor wearing something approximating pants and not playing Lotro in the same week. Is there a black hole forming somewhere that I'm not aware of?
You know what? I'll have this ready here for when Harry comes back, so that he can know that he missed something very, very, very important.
Yep, very important indeed.
It didn't work. Anyways, yes, it was very important. You didn't play
the end
Lotro.
of the world. The black hole got it.
No.
Retreat to the bunkers.
Here we go. This'll work. This'll
comes.
work. Really, it'll work. Really, we're not just sitting here waiting, as always, for my sound bit to come through too late. And it's too late. Here we go. That's for Harry, because he missed out. Anyways, moving on.
I've been playing a whole crapload of WildStar and trying to get to max level. I've been playing the PvE and the PvP. I've been queuing up on the PvP in the practice battlegrounds, and I get some pretty good experience out of it. But for some reason, Chris is really catching up with me on the PvE, and he can talk about that when in a couple of minutes. I did update a old Japanese game called Atlantica Online. I was hoping to play it with somebody, and it didn't happen. But I did get to play for a little while with the person, but they were having a lot of problems. So it was something I did, so I thought I'd put it down.
So what is Atlantic Online?
Atlantica Online is a Japanese MMO that is the combat is set up like a old console fantasy Final Fantasy game where you have a group of people and you tell them to do an attack or do a cure or do a special move or something like that. You get the little menu.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
totally.
Okay, that's how the combat works in this game, and you can have your main character and 8 other characters in your little group, and you can make them whatever you want. You know, whatever you have unlocked. So you samurais, gunmen, wizards, witches, um, berserkers. There's technological guys too. I don't know what they're called, like engineers and stuff.
Right.
And it's a really cool game. It's an older game, and it's free to play, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've got it up showing for the live people here so they can see what the combat is like you're talking about. Sounds like it's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Sort of a more MMO, classic JRPG combat, Final Fantasy type of combat thing, but with an
Yeah.
MMO twist.
With an MMO twist, yeah. And the fun thing is when you play with a group of people, I think 3 people can play at the same time, they
Right.
also bring in all of their army.
Oh, cool.
So it's a lot of fun when you get a couple people going through the game like that.
Nice.
The other thing, I took the weekend off from MMOs and worked on Mugen, which is my fighting game that I've been working on for kind of casually here and there. And I did a lot of sprite work and just basically worked on the game. I even did a live stream for a little while. So
Cool.
that was about it.
Awesome. Sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bill, what about you? What's been keeping you busy in the world of MMOs?
Well, in MMOs, it's actually been pretty straightforward. I'm putting as much effort into WildStar as I possibly can. It's not sticking, I think, as well as everyone else. I'm only level 16 right now. I think I'm just shy of level 17.
Right.
But I don't know. It's my disdain for it is not as great this week as it was last week. It may even be that I just needed a break, but yeah, I don't know. I can tell you what I am noticing though is the model or the sales model, actually the box and subscription model is really making me respect Guild Wars 2 all the more, because I knew coming into WildStar that Guild Wars 2 would just be sitting over there. It'd be like, okay, Bill, take it easy. We'll just be over here waiting for you whenever you're ready. And it's totally very low pressure, very cool. Like, this is how people fall in love is this kind of thing. So it's very cool of Guild Wars 2 to be doing that. WildStar, obviously in your face, and it's like, you better get this right or you're going to be paying for a game you don't like every month because, yeah. Anyway, so I'm getting there with Guild Wars, or getting there with WildStar. It's not bad, and when it goes free to play, I'll probably jump back in. I also, of course, for anyone who's been watching the Twitters and all that kind of thing, they know that the Steam Summer Sale is on right now. So all of your favorite games are on for single-digit prices, and everybody will be broke by the end of the month. The first thing that I dropped money on was actually Magicka. Asani and I both picked up a copy of Magicka to play. For those of you who don't know, Magicka is it's a little bit like a top-down isometric Diablo type game, except it's meant for co-op. Well, actually, I guess technically Diablo is co-op play as well, but it's co-op play. Its real selling feature is it's kind of a bit of a humorous take on a fantasy loot finder type game and everything like that. It does not take itself very seriously at all. But the best part of it is really the spell system. It's very cool. Basically, you've got 8 elements that are bound to different keys and 5 slots that you can put different elements into, and different spells get created just basically by whatever elemental combinations you create For example, you get an earth and a fire together, that's a fireball. If you do a double lightning, that's a lightning bolt. If you do an earth, a fire, and a water, that turns into like a steam wall, and it creates a whole bunch of different effects. And we haven't hardly played the game at all. I think we've gotten, I mean, if we were playing really quickly, we might have got about 15 minutes into the game, but we spent so much time just farting around with spell combinations and everything like that. It was really cool. So if you're looking for something that's going to be cheap on Steam, I think we paid like $5 per copy for it. It was well worth it. Just for monkeying around with the spell system.
So do you get to like keep the spells that you've quote unquote learned?
Sort of. It's all about memorizing the combos.
Okay, so you have
There's
to
a
memorize
few
like a fighting
spells-
game, you mean?
Sort of, yeah, except obviously a lot more complex because
Right.
there's like literally hundreds of thousands of different ways you can cast each spell. There are a few kind of common spells that you can program into your basically it gets programmed into your mouse wheel. Like you can scroll through some of these
Okay.
common spells that you'll cast, and
Yeah.
it'll show the combination that you need to enter. So you enter in the combination and your quick cast key, and it'll give you sprint, for example, is one of the spells that you could quick cast that way.
I would
But
kind of compare
generally-
it to the warden in Lotro, kind of. Like warden would be
yeah.
considered simplistic compared to this system, but if you think about it, you put in spear, shield, spear, yell, and then the final one, enter, to do the skill. It's a lot like that.
It's very comparable, actually, except obviously a lot more complex. But and there are patterns too. The same with the warden. Like if you throw an element together with earth, for example, you're probably going to be throwing something at somebody. If you're casting anything with fire, you're going to be burning something. If you cast fire on yourself, you're going to light yourself on fire. Well, that's actually a good one too. If you cast a water spell on yourself, you'll actually be dripping wet, which then interacts with your lightning spells, because if you cast a lightning spell when you're dripping wet, you actually take lots of damage. So in order to dry yourself off after you've got yourself wet so you don't kill yourself with lightning, you actually have to cast a fireball on yourself to dry yourself off.
That's awesome.
It's one of the things you do. So anyway, it's really, really cool.
That's really cool.
So anyway, not an MMO, but it's
Fun
co-op.
nonetheless, right?
Co-op dungeon running, so it's in the realm. So that's what I did. So that's Magica. Anyway, Chris, how about yourself? What did you do? You probably played a whole lot of games this week. So we've carved out a lot of time for you to describe all the different games you played this week.
Right.
So feel free to give lots of very thorough descriptions of the various games and their styles and the importance to the industry that you think each game has. So take a deep breath and begin.
I played WildStar
And
WildStar
oh yes, and
WildStar. I've been just playing the crap out of WildStar. It has got it hooked into me. It just like every spare moment that I have where I don't have to be doing something else, where I can be at the computer, I am doing that, and I'm finding it very, very hard to tear myself away, because I see all my guildmates who've already hit level 50 and they're already doing all the attunement stuff for the raids, and I want to be doing that. And I'm just like, okay, got it. And that's why, like, in the last days, I've got, 8 levels. In the last, I think it's day and a half, maybe. So here's the thing. I've not been super rushing through until probably the last couple of days when I saw that Leonore was ahead of me. And that kind of pushed me.
Funny how that gets you spurred on.
But I'm like 88 hours into the game, and I am still not max level, right? So yeah, I've been playing like crazy. Really enjoying it. The questing is fun. I do find a little preview of my final thoughts when I finally get it down into a recording of some type. I do find that I'm tired of a zone a little bit before, maybe, a half a level before I'm done it. And I would rather leave a zone wishing I could go back rather than leave a zone happy I'm done. And so, that would be one small criticism that I might have about the leveling. The leveling is not anything new, but it's like having regular leveling. WoW leveling is like having a hamburger, and now I'm having a filet mignon in WildStar. I just find the questing, while it's still meat, still beef, it's still questing. I just find it fantastic. I find the humor is great. I find the flow is good. Like I said, it's not that the flow is bad. I get a little bit tired of the zone by the end of it.
Yep.
There's tons of variety. I could see myself leveling alts a lot because there's different things that I could do. I could level by PvP, and there's people that are saying it's faster to level by PvP. Which, because you can get your housing bonus. Once you get your housing plot, you can get that. We talked about it last week, that rotating 10% bonus, or 5% at the very least. I mean, plus I've got my authenticator, so I get an extra 2% with that. And, doing all the different stuff that I can get. As a settler, I can also add some XP buffs at some of the different stations that I go through. So I'm going through quite nicely. And I'm just really enjoying it. I haven't done dungeons because I am focusing so much on leveling, and I miss that. I miss that a lot. But I'm not missing it enough to slow down my leveling and find groups. But I am missing it. So it's.
But do you find it kind of strange that the world, or that things just aren't really connected, that if you need to go over to another area this is like halfway through the game, if you have to go to another area, you have to go to some NPC that really isn't labeled to go over to another planet?
That's
and the
far
only way
side.
that you can find that, there's
Well, I mean, that's a
Farside,
whole
and then
different.
there's another place too.
Yeah, and then you go to the different continent. That's the thing. There's just different continents, and the way that they've done it, instead of making it a big headache to go out and find the boat and wait for the boat and then get on the boat and then go on the boat as it goes across the water, they just have you go up and click to someone, and then you take a shuttle over whenever you want, right? So it's the same, very similar mechanic to what WoW does, very different from what Lotro does, which is sort of your big game. But on one continent, you can run across the entire continent without zoning, right? You just, when you go off world, when you go to an asteroid, spoiler, you go to an asteroid, you have to take a space shuttle there or whatever, right? And I liked I don't know if you did them at all, but the events that come up when you're on Farside, you'll get, oh no, there's an asteroid that's about to hit Farside. Do you want to take part? And it's a public quest. And you get zoned. You automatically get a jetpack plopped onto your back. You fly up in the air, and then you zone into this instance for this combat. And then you do that event, and I got pretty good gear out of it. So, you were going to say, Bill, though? You had a question before Leonor?
I was just going to say, considering your leveling sprint now, can you see in the future that you might come back and have a more leisurely stroll through the leveling, or are you even interested in rolling an alt?
Oh, no, I'm having that with Selenia. Selenia is nowhere near as interested in leveling quickly as I am. And so, I've got my engineer that's with her, which is like level 9. And we just pop on and we spend like an hour and a bit, and we finish a chunk of a zone. Like not even a whole zone, but like an area that's nicely compartmentalized, right? You've got sort of this quest hub here, this area here. You do all the quests, then you move on, and it's kind of nice. You kind of just jump on, and it's the feeling of accomplishment of getting that done. Where some other more open-ended games, it's harder to do that with Lotro, for example. Guild Wars 2 is pretty good at that too with the hearts, but I don't know. I really like how it's working.
So you think there's replayability there?
Oh yeah, for me, completely. Absolutely. I like the game. I like playing the game, right? It's like watching a movie that I really liked again when I level an alt, right? With something like Lord of the Rings, when I do an alt, that is much slower leveling progression and a very different pace. So that's, as often as I will read the Lord of the Rings books, which is every couple of years, I'll read those books, and I'm happy for it, but I don't want to read them more often. With this is like watching my favorite action movie that I'll watch a couple times a year, right? I just like the experience of playing the game enough that I'm not like, yeah, I'm just I when I say I'm tired of a zone, I'm not tired of playing the game. I want to get to somewhere different and a different storyline and stuff like that. I'm following the storylines roughly. I'm never much of a quest text reader, but you know, I'm getting enough of the story even through my quick run throughs. Any other questions or thoughts?
No,
Crickets.
I just, yeah. I just, like I said, I'm still, it hasn't tickled or I haven't got that magical feeling from it yet. So,
You know, and I think part of it too is, and I think Guild Wars 2 kind of does this, although WildStar goes further. Guild Wars 2 is closer to WoW, I think, than WildStar. In its gameplay mechanics itself, the way you play the game, the combat, basically. That I think, you know, I'm just I really just like that. I forget what I was going to say now. So I'm kind of, I was stumbling there trying to remember what I was going to say. I really like the game. I like the way they built the game. That's the fun thing for me. And that's what's really calling to me. And I'm an alcoholic with games. I like playing a whole bunch of different games, but nope. All right. I think since everybody is so interested in piping in on the discussion, we're going to move things along here. Here we go.
Eyes your
The Robert Morrison University in Illinois is pleased to announce the addition of an online sport to its athletic program. Commonly referred to as eSports, the activity consists of organized video game competitions. Specifically, RMU students will be competing in League of Legends. Chris, will you be teaching Lotro music system at your school anytime soon?
No. I will not, mostly because I'm on strike right now. But anyways, back on topic. This is a cool way to expand the world of esports into sort of the university world, which League of Legends is, to be blunt, a young man's game or young woman's game. It is just like sports require you know, the physical prowess, and you know, there's a reason that people aren't playing hockey into their 50s and 60s because you just don't have the reaction time. League of Legends is about, you know, it's like StarCraft 2. You measure the reaction time in milliseconds. So, you know, the university campuses are the perfect place for this. And there was a movie, oh gosh, it was a Dota 2 movie put out by Valve, all about one of their I think it was the 2012 World Championships. It was really cool, but it was all young guys. So fitting into sort of the sports umbrella at the university, I think is a really smart move, and I think it's going to get a lot of really smart people to go to this university, Robert Morris University, because, hey, they can get a full ride scholarship because not only are they a math whiz or something, but they kick ass at League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the key there. I don't think this is necessarily Robert Morris University leaping in to usher in the societal shift towards video games as sports or anything like that, as it is to attract good students. Because, like, ultimately, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are going to roll their eyes at the notion of a good student being a League of Legends ace, because the stereotype is, of course, that they'll spend more time playing League of Legends than on math, for example. But ultimately, it is. I mean, it's a differentiator. It's something that I mean, if you're an 18-year-old coming out of high school, this is probably going to be an appealing way that you want to spend your time. And I mean, it's the same way that amateur sports really, or very similar anyway, to how amateur sports worked in universities back in the day. That was how the universities wanted to attract kind of that well-rounded student. Like the notion of a student athlete used to be that was the ideal that people worked for. But now I think universities, I think, look for more specialty, or the outcome of university is to become a little bit more specialized these days. But this is the kitsch, I think, that will get people rolling or paying attention to Robert Morris University. I know I haven't heard of Robert Morris University before this article, so there you go.
No, I think it's fantastic. I really hope that they keep doing this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? There's obviously a tipping point here, or there's a point on the pendulum. Does this actually push other universities into becoming joining Robert Morris and having a university rivalry in League of Legends, or is this going to be a one-off thing that's just a bit of an attention grab for Robert Morris?
I think it will. I think it very possibly could, because again, not necessarily about the esports stuff, but about attracting the students. Now you've got students who have a choice between a full ride academic scholarship to this university, and now they've got they can get a full ride scholarship over at this other one, but they can also be involved in this very, very high level League of Legends play. That's very, very tempting.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. This could bring a second life into League of Legends, although I don't think it's dying on its first life at all.
Oh, I see what you did there, Chris, but there was one more point that I really wanted to make here.
Darn it.
Is that it's going to be interesting how this works out, because the NCAA is actually very famous for the notion of amateur athletes and making sure that their athletes don't get paid for what they do. League of Legends and obviously Dota and other ones are a little bit getting famous actually for the prize pools that they get in tournaments these days.
Yeah.
So if you're attracting the best of League of Legends, I'm wondering if Robert Morris University or whatever organization of universities kind of binds this together. If this becomes a trend in universities, are they going to allow their students, gaming athletes, to win professional prizes? So that'd be an interesting thing that comes out of it as well. I didn't see anything in the article that really said one way or the other.
Okay.
That would indicate that.
But now you just imagine the montage of the guys coming around, the geeks with their computers walking onto the school campus, with the montage and the soundtrack behind them. Where is it here? Oh, darn it. Here we go. Can you see that montage, League of Legends style? I totally can, by the way. No? Setting up their computers.
Too much World of Warcraft, Chris.
Getting the USB in the wrong way, so they have to flip it the other way.
Too much South Park, Chris.
All right, Bill. As I tried to move things along and failed miserably, why don't you try?
Well, this is let's take a second stab at the news here, shall we?
Nice. Nice.
Second Life. Second Life is looking to build not a sequel, but they're going to make a subsequent version of Second Life. So really, it's going to be Second Life, right? Or Second Life the Second. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Linden Labs is confirmed to
Second Life Squared.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, Linden Labs is confirmed to New World Notes a rumor that they are working on the next generation of Second Life. So it's obviously going to be super light on details and that kind of thing. They're looking to expand on the capabilities of what Second Life offers, but it looks like they're actually going to be pulling back on the open source nature of Second Life, or at least that's what the article is suggesting, is that it's actually going to be more of a closed source, privatized thing, which is going to be an interesting shift, because Second Life, I mean, that's one of the things that really kind of allowed it to resonate with people, is that you could kind of mod around it. You could build viewers for Second Life so that you could that really expanded what the community could do to interact with Second Life. So if they have a closed
you could
system,
make money at Second
Yeah.
Life. Tons of money.
For sure. For sure. Well, to be fair, it was also the first kind of virtual marketplace or something there. It was for the kind of the one of the first virtual marketplaces, but secondly, it was also the first one that really allowed the community to kind of guide it. I mean, we were talking last week about Minecraft or private Minecraft servers, and allowing people to kind of create their own monetization systems for their own private Minecraft servers. That's kind of what Second Life was doing with their open source API,
Right.
and
And-
allowing people to do different things there. They actually created their own marketplace out of this. I
Right,
don't even
and
want to
so-
call it a game as so much as an online thing, but
You could
Yeah.
sell, making something for someone or items in game for their in game money. But the thing is, you could then cash out your Linden dollars. I'm looking at a story from New World Notes from March 24th, 2009. The top earner was $1.7 million US.
yeah.
That is absolutely crazy.
It is crazy, but it's also kind of a bubble thing too.
Oh,
I think
totally.
if you
I don't think anybody's making that much now.
No, I'd be stunned if that's the case. And there anytime you get a new market like this, there's always a bubble of those incredible earners right at the front. Like
Right.
you look at Second Life, you can look at I mean, the Diablo auction house when it came out. You could even look at like Bitcoin, is kind of
exactly.
in the same thing. There's always going to be people right at the cutting edge there, that they got lucky that they invested their time and money into the bleeding edge here, and they happened to catch the bubble as it was blowing up. For every one of those, though, there's probably 100 other failed virtual marketplaces where people put dozens to hundreds of hours in and got maybe pennies out.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
it's interesting that they're going to move on to a second version, and I wonder what they're going to put in it to try and strike that magic again.
Well, it kind of gets back to what we've been talking about as far as trends are concerned with sandboxes and that kind of thing. Because I mean, Second Life is kind of the original sandbox, or one of the original sandboxes in the massive online space. So if there's two ways this can go, you could either say, well, they tried to milk Second Life for too long and now they're stale, or they're the ones that invented it and already have a head start on everybody else. So I could see it either being a spectacular success or a spectacular failure. Probably not in the middle, I would think.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree, because I think that you're going to find a lot of resistance from the people who are so entrenched in the original Second Life. These could be people that are playing on old Pentium 2s, right? Because this game has been out for a while. And some of the same resistance that you saw with some of the original Guild Wars players, some are still playing the original Guild Wars, not because they don't want to play Guild Wars 2, but because they can't. And it's been so long now, and Second Life is no longer the kitschy new thing, the new fad, that you've got the hardcore people in there who are the pillars of the community, the ones who are making it the wonderful experience for those people that are in it. They might not be likely to jump. I think you saw that too with Asheron's Call to Asheron's Call 2, right, Bill? I mean, among other things.
Oh, for sure. They're not the only ones by any stretch. But yeah, you saw, I mean, that was the thing. Either Asheron's Call 2 is going to be the first, it was going to be like the first real big sequel to hit massively online space, and that was at the time it was either one of two ways. Either Turbine was going to build on everything they already learned in Asheron's Call, including the mistakes, and make a game that was a full tier better, or it was going to fall flat on their face because people wouldn't want to leave Asheron's Call. So, and obviously we saw how that worked out.
Yep. That's yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go. But maybe they'll put it on their resume and become super rich and famous.
Well, that seems to be working for just about everybody these days, including the CIO over at Starbucks. Came across a little story here on CNN, of all places, talking about the new CEO of Starbucks, who is famous, at least for the moment, because he put his World of Warcraft experience on his resume, and that was one of the points on which he got hired. So Stephen Gillette of Starbucks, or pardon me, yes, of Symantec, actually, pardon me, formerly of Starbucks and CNET and Best Buy, has actually used his World of Warcraft credentials to get several of his jobs now. And he talks about some of the skills he's learned there: organizing people, rating, financial keeping for guild records, that kind of thing. And apparently it works for him.
Well, hold on. I would question his work ethic because he's a level 70 paladin. Excuse me? I don't believe that level 70 is max level.
Geez, if you can run a guild by being level 70, that's pretty impressive too.
Yeah.
And apparently he doesn't have officers. He does all this himself.
Yeah. But he has a knack for recruiting key talents. Think mages. I do think it's pretty awesome, though. I think all joking aside, this is a pretty darn cool thing, and I think that it shows that games are becoming more mainstream. You know, it's everything from, you remember the congresswoman in the States who the ad against her was that she was a rogue in WoW. Stabbing people, killing people, that was her thing, and they tried to use that as an attack ad that blew up in their faces. It's mainstream now. Gamers are not the fringe of society anymore. We are society.
Now, before you go basing your resume solely on the games that you play and everything like that, I mean, you've got to there's a little bit of common sense that's got to go in here too. I think depending on the job you're reaching for, that they may or may not be impressed by your endurance to be able to raid for 8 hours a day or something like that. That might not be quite as impressive. I mean, he's obviously spun the activities, the organizational maintenance activities that he does in his guilds as skills that apply to his ability to kind of lead a group of people.
So you're saying that my extensive expertise in Flappy MMO is not necessarily going to get me a job as CEO of Starbucks?
Probably not at Starbucks, no.
But sure, because that game's trendy.
Oh, come on, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4. I'm not playing it. Damn it! Sorry. Anybody who's watching the live game is like, "Yep, been there."
I gotta believe there's a career out there somewhere that it's appropriate for, but I honestly can't see it.
Okay, now on a total side note, I know Leonor played it. Leonor, do you remember when Flappy MMO was the big thing and there were so many people? There's nobody else there.
Oh, it's dead?
It's
No.
yeah. Look at the live stream. I'll show you right now. You can see it's like me. One other little Flappy Bird. That's it. It's very sad.
Yeah, that's you're doing pretty good actually.
No, I'm not. I did for a bit. Oh right, you're behind on the stream. Oh,
there was someone else. I saw a green bird.
Now, see, now we're going to have the MMO reporter effect. Everybody who's listening is going to go play Flappy MMO. Ha 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 ha. Crash the servers.
Everybody's going to start sending us angry emails about how live streaming Flappy MMO is not the best use of our podcasting time.
But, oh, right. We don't want to be gaming while we're podcasting.
Yes, and don't put it on your resume. I'm going to go ahead and just say definitively, Flappy MMO on your resume will not get you hired.
Oh, come on. I
Damn
could play
it.
Flappy MMO with this in the background. Totally. I mean, click. No?
No, I'm going to categorically say that you are not the best.
Oh,
Damn it.
darn it. All right.
14.
Well, I still think that's really cool and just showing that we're not the outsiders anymore. Okay, so we're going to move on now to Bone Gulch, which is a Kickstarter MMO, a sandbox MMO, but it's not like vehicles or anything like that. This is an actual all-out Western. And they describe in their video and in their Kickstarter that this is going to be a game where you can decide you're going to be an outlaw. So you're going to go out and you are going to do bad things. And then someone can decide to be a lawkeeper and go find, get the bounties and go find all the people who are being outlaws. Somebody can be a gold panner. And they're going to set a world and let people play in it. And I think that really there's a lot of games that they say they have sandbox elements, but there's not very many that are willing to go out there and kind of put themselves out there and just say, here's a world, go play.
With actual sand.
With actual
or
sand.
dust, anyway.
You could put like little boards around it and you'd have yourself a sandbox. But this is a Kickstarter, so you should go check it out. I mean, it's number one, there's not a lot of Western MMOs, which is a good thing for them to pursue. And number two, I do like pushing that whole sandbox element of it. I don't, and it's not for me. I don't like, no, let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't like sandbox game. Sandbox games are not where I find the most enjoyment and the best use of my time in games. I have other games that I like a whole lot more. Skyrim, I did the story, and that was pretty much it. Right? That's the way that I play a game. I'm not the one who's going to go out and just explore everything and do all the side quests and stuff. That's just not me. I get the story done and I'm good. So it's nice to see this and nice to see a Western as well. So.
Interesting. It's a Western being made by a company from London, England.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
So.
All the
Anyway,
cowboys
it
drink
looks
tea.
interesting. I mean, it's obviously not a setting that you see a ton of MMOs working around. I don't think there's a comparable for it out there or anything like that, at least not in the genre. So, or in the Western genre, I should say. So, yeah, I'm curious. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And if you like it, we'll have a link in the show notes. Go check out their Kickstarter, and maybe you can help them out if you like the idea. The footage I'm showing right now, it's very alpha. So don't, you'll see here as he gets on his horse, they don't quite have the reins in game yet. So he's kind of just putting his hands out in front of him in the Michael Jackson Thriller pose. So...
I like how he walks into the bar, shoots the bartender, and then goes up to the bar and buys stuff.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, they show how you can ride and shoot at the same time. And so it's some promising alpha stuff. So you should go check it out. Check out the Kickstarter. Well, there we go. That's a show for the week, gentlemen. That went through fairly succinctly, I have to say. I do want to mention real quick our sponsors. First of all, we got Doghouse Systems. Go to doghousesystems.com and use the coupon code MMO Reporter. Get yourself a new computer. They are fantastic. If you're going to get a boutique computer, if you're going to buy something online to get a computer, you need to go to Doghouse Systems because they make some pretty darn amazing PCs. I know that Carrie, host of Load Reporter, is incredibly happy with hers. So go check it out. doghousesystems.com. Use the coupon code MMO Reporter. And then if you like some audiobooks, something to keep you occupied while you're driving, maybe you're on your commute, or maybe while you're gaming, go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. You can see that they've got a deal there where you can sign up for their plan and you get one book per month, and you pay for that. But hey, you know what? We'll help you out. You can get the first month free, and that book that you get for that first month, that free month, you can keep it forever. Yay! So go check out Audible. Sorry?
Carrie and I looked up audiobooks on that website because we wanted to see if any For Dummies books were on there, and there was 5 full pages of For Dummies.
Wow.
Those books, like
Was that like
Windows.
home for you, Leonor?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Those
I'm a
books like
jerk.
Windows 8 for Dummies and PC for Dummies, and there was 5 pages. I was like, wow.
Was that, you know what it was? I bet you those were books for Steve. Did you buy one for Steve? I'm sure he could use it.
You won't
Steve, he didn't mean it. Shh.
you you won't be a dummy for long if you read all those books.
That's right. All right, Bill, if people want to get a hold of us, what are some of the ways they can do that?
Well, you can head over to MMOreporter.com for our presence on the web. Check us out there, as well as all of our affiliate podcasts or affiliated podcasts or whatever the word of the week is there, including Literature Reporter, where our own Leonor spends the hour prior to MMO Reporter. You can send us an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/MMO Reporter. You can tweet at any of us, including the in absentia Harry Hall, at Harry Hall. You can get MMO Reporter at MMO_reporter, at Leonor for Leonor, and for yours truly at MMO Bill. Give us a call at 616-666-6778 or click the widget on the side of MMOreporter.com as well. We would love to hear voicemail from you, and we just would. We would love to hear from you. If you'd love to hear more from us, head over to youtube.com/user/MMO Reporter Network for our YouTube channel, where all of our podcasts get streamed, as well as all of our convention presences, gameplay streaming, that kind of thing, all winds up over on our YouTube channel.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Bill, for another fantastic show.
Oh, right on. It was a beautiful time.
It was. Thanks, Leonor, for wearing shorts. That is unimaginably appreciated.
You are welcome, and I'm still trying to figure out how to spike my Mountain Dew.
You keep trying, dude. You keep trying. All right, well, thanks, guys. It was an absolute blast recording today. I hope that you guys had fun, because I know I did. Thanks to our chat room for coming out and hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun to have you there. Of course, Pants for Dummies. Very, very nice. That's the new bestseller over on audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. Thanks to everyone for downloading the podcast week after week. We really appreciate it. We hope that you download it again next week, but most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little.
I don't want to startle anyone, but I think we might be ready.
Let's do a ready check.
Okay, Leonor, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You sure you're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, good. I was worried there for a minute. And Bill's ready.
Would you be more comfortable if I said that I wasn't ready and that
No.
we need to wait for a while?
All right, here we go.
Should we ready check the ready check?
Shut up.
Ding.